It's good to be here. I want to say first off that Mike Clark is a tremendous asset for this community. Since I've been in office, he's actually given me a number of tours because it's been needed, unfortunately, in this area. We've had a lot of high water here in the last few years, not just in 2008 and 1993, but since then as well. And Mike is doing a fantastic job. He has a lot of experience in the military, where he ran a lot of large operations, and he's applied that experience here to Davenport over the course of the past few years, and really done a great job. When I came in from the south today, earlier today, I came up and on 61, and I knew I was going to be detoured. I didn't know when exactly, but right at Rockingham is when we got off. And I commend the city, not just the Public Works Department, but everyone who's actually doing a great job in terms of directing traffic and cutting off the roads where they're not needed. It's an inconvenience, there's no question about that, but it's all for public safety, and it's all to make sure that those businesses in downtown have as little disruption as possible, and also those folks in the Garden Addition, others in those homes, to make sure that whatever damage may happen is limited. Hopefully there won't be any. Now, when it comes to the federal role in all of this, it's a little complicated, but essentially what has to happen is there has to be a certain threshold of damage incurred by the city. Hopefully it won't get to that point, but what has to happen is the governor has to be involved. He has to declare the county a disaster area. Then we have to go through that process at the federal level. The president would have to make that declaration himself. We'd have to go through FEMA and go through that process. Should it get to that point, I'm confident that we'd be able to do that. We'd be able to get the assistance here that's needed. In the meantime, hopefully it won't get to that point, but the city, Public Works Department, all the other folks, they've been through this before. They understand that they have to document all of these expenses. At an earlier meeting, it was mentioned there'd be a lot of volunteers out there, and I just made a very, very mundane suggestion, but reminded folks that when there are volunteers, that the city, that public officials should be documenting those volunteer hours, because they're worth something. And that all adds up. That may be a small thing, but it does add up, and it's really important to keep that in mind. I've been through this myself when I represented my previous district with Cedar Rapids in particular back in 2008 when the flood hit. I don't want to have to go through this again, but we're going through it. Hopefully the river won't crest quite as high as has already been mentioned, but we're looking potentially at another crest down the road coming from the north, as the mayor said, from the Twin Cities and up that way. I'm going to be here as often as I possibly can. I'll be doing whatever I can to help the folks here locally, not only the city but the residents, and just rest assured that in the event that we need a federal declaration, I'll be there to back it immediately. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Council, and all the folks here, but especially Mike Clark, because I don't think this guy ever sleeps very much. Thank you.